Good day to all of you. We are back, and this is an urgent topic that requires discussion primarily because of certain comments that were made and because of the match itself. Certain comments that were made after the match and the match itself, the first test between South Africa and India. So, let us just say that it was an unpleasant surprise to be given the same rubbish pitch that we have been seeing over and over and over again. This has become a disease with Indian cricket. In fact, when Anil Kumble openly says, I haven't seen a pitch as bad as this in Eden Gardens in a long time, things have really headed south.
Not a long time. I've been coming to Eden Garden since my under 19 days. Okay. So that takes us to 1986, 87, 88, that kind of
Yeah,
era.
yeah. He's the same age as my mother, same college, in fact, if you can believe it. So, yeah. So, I have met
It's
him.
an abomination.
But, I mean, l- why don't you give your thoughts on what you made
No,
of the pitch?
on day one, I was already talking about how some of this shit is not acceptable. I mean, the ball that jumped up on who was it? Was it Stubbs or who did it jump up on and take the outside edge of Bumrah?
Markram.
Markram, right?
Yes.
Right? And then compare it to the one that got Dizorzi. It's a perfectly good length delivery. It's on off
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Bumrah, who's going to hit the pitch, and it gets up what half a stump and hits him,
Three
cuts him, and
fourth,
hits him
three
a
fourth, three fourth of a stump.
little less than that, and cut. So it's skidding. At that time, I'm like, okay, at least let's just say it's skidding. And then I was hearing comments, and this is the kind of normalization that worries me, bro. So a lot of comments saying, I've only seen, and friends close to me who I'm not going to mention their names, but only seen 3 or 4 balls on which the puff of dust came up. I'm like, to day one, this is so normalized now for you that on day one you're talking about just 3 or 4 puffs of dust. I am not kidding with you. Until even after Gill suffered his whiplash, I had friends thinking of 280, 300. And I'm like, how? How? How is this going to happen? Not that I was watching on the second day. I didn't have the time. I watched a fair bit on the first day. I had some time off on the first day. Man, it's you've got to ask yourself, what is the brand of cricket here? I mean, I understand the WTC switched its points model from points per match
To
uh,
percentage.
to percentages, right? And that's put the mockers amongst people. But you can't. You have to accept that your future cricketing health suffers doing this.
Not just future cricketing health. I would go further and say none of our batsmen are ever going to gain confidence on these pitches. They
No,
just will not
that's
have
your
any
future
idea.
cricketing health, Sima.
Exactly my
That's your
point.
future
Yeah.
cricketing health. You already seen epochal players get destroyed.
Ice Pujara's magnificent defensive technique around 2017 2018 reduced to rubbish by 2023 because of these
Pujara
pitches.
was by quite some distance the guy who used to use his feet the most to spinners.
He
The
couldn't
most.
anymore at the very end because of the speed of the pitch and the speed of the spinners and stuff like that.
No,
And
it's
also the pitch.
because the grip is so much and the bounce is so variable. The spinner has to exercise no spinner skill. Just dart it in. Just keep darting it in. But having said that, Harmer actually expressed a lot of skill.
Yeah. Yeah. But even then, what I saw with Harmer was the modern method, and I'll show it to you in some very crudely
No,
drawn paint
the
diagrams I
modern
was.
method. I get what you're talking about, but I just want to say that the problem with this pitch was not sharp turn. I don't think it
It was
turned.
uneven bounce. It was
That's it.
uneven bounce.
From day one, you cannot, as a batsman, trust an inch of this pitch. Now, there have been other pitches like this in the past. Batsmen have reacted to it better. You have a dual problem right now.
Yeah.
None of these batsmen are designed for patience.
Yeah.
They can't go. I mean, people talk about Dravid in Perth in
Yeah.
2007, 2008,
One of 40 balls. Yeah. Yeah. One of 40
right?
balls.
Let me tell you this: in the great Manchester Test match, in
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
Tendulkar made the match-saving 100 in 1990,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In the first innings, he made a 68 not out.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, it took him an hour to get off zero.
Let me just bring up that match.
An hour to get off zero. And
Yeah,
those pitches never used to be rolled like our current pitches are, despite the heat and everything. It's one of those pitches where there are indentations in the pitch. It will give you some knock-on effect, but batsmen were good enough to also know how to trust the pitch and score. I mean, Azharuddin played a ripper on that pitch, but that pitch is
I'm
not the
not
one in
sure
which he
if
was
he
hit.
took an hour. I'm not sure if he took an hour to get off zero because he made his runs at a strike rate of 50, as you can see. Wait, wait,
Yes,
wait.
and I promise you, it took an hour to get off zero.
Oh, then he really amped it up after a while. Okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
he went nuts. Once he got in, he went nuts. I'm just saying, this is the kind of patience that was normal.
Actually, we were having a discussion about the five greatest English batsmen of yesteryears.
Actually, let's not do that. You know what I don't want to get into is random thoughts being collated together. Let's do this. You can take this away because this is really immaterial to the whole discussion, right? But
Yeah,
let's do. We'll have to accept a few things, right? Substandard pitch, and if this was a one-off, it wouldn't have bothered me. But we've just become a mess since 2019,
absolutely.
right? So
2020,
that's one issue.
2021, 2021. Yeah.
20, yeah, 2019, 20. I'm seeing it since then. The South Africa pitches in the 2019 series, yeah. Remember
No,
those?
they were fine. The South Africa pitches in 2019 series were fine. I'll just show you why.
Anyway, we keep. I've seen them. I don't need to see another scoreboard. It's all right. I'm
No,
saying
no, no, no. No. There is a reason why I'm saying this because
no, no.
often
It
we make
certainly
the mistake
starts
of
with the
jumping.
England series in 20.
Yeah, 2021, early 2021. Yeah, that's when
Yeah,
the
20
championship.
anyway. There would have been no cricket. 20, there would have been
Yeah.
no cricket. Right. So 21 to 25 now. We've had one exceptional series in which we haven't done this rubbish. Otherwise, we've done it every series,
Yes.
and I don't
Yes.
know why. Right. That's why I don't even look at those years, and I don't even think that it's these pitches that destroyed our batsmen. Of course, they would have been better off on better Indian pitches.
Yes.
And the strategy, so that's one, the pitches. Second is what are our batsmen up to? Because as bad as this was, it was not unbattable. It was not a don't chase 120 or have a 60-run swing after the first inning. That's a big swing after the first inning, man. Huge swing. Okay. So that's the second. Third is, do we now anyway have the bowling attack to attempt this? And I'll make my case based on New Zealand in this series. Right? So is it at all a winning strategy in that sense? In the way in
Look,
which we've constantly been looking at it. So let's start
already
with the
we,
pitches first and let's recall like a historical perspective on the pitches a little bit. And to me, it starts with the route double hundred in Chennai. I
yeah,
tweeted this during the route double hundred in Chennai. Right?
yeah.
That this was superb innings, and it's a superior innings to what any of our guys can play. And it was
Yeah, but
fine
you have to
because
realize the pitch wasn't spinning at all on day one and two. That is
no,
the
no,
other part.
it wasn't not spinning at all. It was turning, but he was good enough. Yeah, he'd just come off his massive tour of Sri Lanka, where he'd made huge runs. Been the only one. The rest of that batting lineup doesn't contribute. It contributes little bit around his 218.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And
220, 220.
yeah, and around that, when our third innings comes or fourth innings comes, we were never in it. I mean, again, Kohli played a reasonably good innings that day in the fourth innings.
Yeah.
But any kind of turn,
This is the
we had no
match. Yeah,
answer.
this is the infamous match. Yeah, this is the match.
Right? So let's go to the full innings by innings. So you see, he makes 228 and people bat around him a little bit.
Yeah.
Then our first innings is an absolute disaster.
Kohli gets out very cheaply. The real problem starts here, actually, by the way. Until 4 for 192, we are fine. We could have probably gotten some way up till 500. But then Pujara falls in the worst way possible. He hits a pull. It hits short leg on the back and loops up, and mid-on takes the catch. That's essentially what happens to
Yeah, you
Pujara.
still got runs out of Pant and out of
Sundar.
Sundar.
Washi was as usual there also. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
there.
right. So you still got runs and you got close in the game. Third
No,
innings they get away from you.
240 runs off. 240. It's not
Yeah,
close.
yeah. So and then after that, God help you.
This. Yeah.
By then, a Chennai pitch doing what a Chennai pitch does, it gets worse. Okay,
Yeah.
always gets worse. I didn't see this pitch and think it was any worse than 99, than the 96 pitch on which Tendulkar went ape shit on Vaughan. Because it spun
Yeah.
square, that pitch. Square.
Yeah.
Okay, when Vaughan was bowling. Or Graham Swan pitching outside off, this far outside off, and missing leg when we
In
chased that famous
2008.
387.
In
When we
2008.
when we chased that famous 387. With Monty
Yeah.
Panesar doing the quick bowling, like he was bowling quick left arm spinners and creating trouble for you. It's no different from that pitch. The skill level had dropped substantially, though. Substantially.
One is skill level. I will give you skill level. There is no debating that skill level point at all. I'm not arguing that. But there is another very crucial point that Harsh and I were debating, and we came to a realization also yesterday. Actually, Harish is sorry, not Harsh, Harish, our editor. I'll show you what I mean. Just give me a moment.
No, no, you don't need to show me. Just tell us.
No. I'll tell you why. Because I actually drew up some very crude diagrams. I'm sure you can understand the workings of a great artist here. Wait.
I think that discussion might be better after we see the remainder of the series.
Yeah, this was the diagram. Now they are really bad, really crude, but you'll get the idea. I'll show you what
Oh
I
my
mean.
God, is this your same three-line theory?
Yeah, it is the three-line
Oh my
theory, but
God, yeah, please. It's three-line
logical.
theory. Everybody gets three-line theory, bro.
I agree, but it is a change on how it used to be. So this is the Andrew Strauss ball in 2005, just to give you an example, and this is the Jason Kretsa to VVS Lakshman ball in 2008. Okay, so these two are good examples of how once upon a time bowlers used to bowl, or rather spinners used to bowl. Essentially, you are incentivized to find that magic delivery from way outside the line of the stumps. What does the modern spinner do? This diagram, this one, or the Jaiswal conundrum. I actually looked at Jaiswal's dismissals in the New Zealand series again. I wanted to see if he had a technical issue. He did not. Jaiswal, two balls, second test. The ball spins, goes like this. The third test, it goes on with the arm, same spot, same bowler, Glenn Phillips. And it hits his leg stump, LBW. That's the problem. That is my major issue with all of this.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm sorry. That's not a problem. That's what a spinner does. At the
I'm
test
saying the
level,
rate at which it happens. I'm saying the rate at which it happens.
at test
Earlier
level,
days,
a spinner has to do this. He has to be able to pitch it on the same spot and go two directions. Just has to be able to
uh,
do it.
yeah, but the point being with DRS, that LBW, which might have been an umpire's call, or very rarely
No,
given,
that's
maybe
what. This
years
is why
ago.
I've been saying I don't like the use of it. We can get rid of your Da Vinci work.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is
I
definitely Da
don't
Vinci.
like the DRS the way it's applied to spin bowling. It is killing spin bowling in my eyes. It's killing. I can see it. It's killing spin
Yeah,
bowling.
yeah,
Right. Look at the rest of that England series and see what happens. We lose that test and
yeah,
we lose our nerve.
yeah, yeah,
Now we never recovered it. Okay, and part of that was
yeah.
don't
I
let's not be confused about this. In the lead up to that test, a part of that feeling was where the fuck is our batting? Okay, is our
Yeah.
batting good enough anymore? And in
Even
that,
though they had just been in Australia and won the series 2-1 with good batting displays.
yeah, but your core batsmen were not scoring as many and as often. They had good innings from time to time. So Rahane has a legendary innings in Australia on that tour, right?
Yeah,
In the BGT, the number of deliveries played by Pujara was decisive in that series, in my opinion. But his average was actually
yes.
only in the 30s, right?
Pant has two fourth innings heroics in that series, an
Yeah,
89 and a
yeah. So
91.
it's spread out a little bit, but you don't actually trust your batting enough, and you have the magic of Ashwin, right? So you're able to play this system. So now, if you bring up the second test, the scorecard will show you the pitch, and this is one of those great innings by Rohit Sharma against spin bowling.
Yeah, this was magical. Even I felt it on that day, and I
Bro,
watched it
that
live.
pitch was breaking outside off stump, right-handers off stump in the first session.
Yes, after the first 11 or 12 overs, in fact.
Yeah, it was collapsing outside the off stump.
By the way, don't underestimate Ajinkya Rahane's innings, right? It was a
Yeah,
beautiful
absolutely.
innings
No,
also.
no, any runs on that are big runs. But it's Chennai, so there's still some sophistry to the pitch. It's not the kind of rubbish that comes up otherwise because they don't put random patches of grass everywhere, right? Yes,
Yeah,
it's a looser wicket and it will turn, but it's not a total crumble, total Shiv Sena pitch in that sense.
yeah,
So he actually, like his footwork in that innings, Rohit Sharma was superb in that innings with his footwork.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. It's one of his best innings, perhaps his best innings in my eyes.
It's this one and the Nagpur 120 that he made against Australia. That was even worse pitch actually than this. And then look, predictable story. Ashwin runs through the Englishman. According to me, this is Ashwin's greatest batting innings ever. How he managed 100 on a third innings raging Turner, I'll never understand. He somehow did it.
The thing with these raging turners, he often says this. We'll put up his tweets as well. Patience, initial patience, and then he was able to play his shots because then you can
Yeah.
start predicting the turn and you can start playing with the turn. Nobody
And
else
here
did
is
that.
one of Virat's underrated gems. That
Yeah,
62
yeah,
is an invaluable 62.
yeah,
Beautiful
yeah,
inning.
yeah. But we were well ahead in the game anyway, right? Like well ahead in it.
No, but the pitch was extremely difficult to bat on by this point. Like
So this Chennai Test pitch, while it was going in the first innings, right? I
yeah,
was looking at it and saying, okay, this is tilted to us, which I still found problematic because I don't want to see puff of dust on day one. But it was a
yeah,
classic Indian pitch, even from the 90s. You used to get these. We will play well on this. Nobody else can play well on this, which is fine. That's an imbalance at home you can have. But at least you can play some good cricket on it. You can
yeah,
at least do that, right? And
yeah.
the English can't play on it. That's fine.
But
This
then you
is
got
still
the third test. Then you got
This
the
is
third.
still no Ahmedabad. Those two test matches are just a joke. They're a joke.
This one.
Just a joke, man.
Just look at the scorecard. This is the second most bowling friendly pitch ever in the history of Test cricket. Anant Narayana actually, made a. It's actually right here. The article is
So a
literally
part
right
of
here.
this was the pink ball, though, because this was a pink ball test, and the
Yeah.
ball was very
No,
skidding.
it's not the second most, but in recent times, it's the second most. Hamilton 2002 and Ahmedabad 2021. The others are rain affected. So, yeah, insane. Pink ball, yes, but it doesn't explain this nonsense.
Yeah, it's
This
utter
was,
nonsense. It is utter nonsense. Not like we could bat on it. I mean, Joe Root came up with a spell for the ages.
I mean, this is Zach Crawley's greatest innings in my view. It's not any of his other hundreds on flat English decks. This is his greatest innings. Nobody talks about this because everyone wants to forget this match. And I agree with them, but you shouldn't forget this 53 here or this 66 again. Rohit, how he managed the 66 on this pitch, I'll never understand.
Yeah, I
Ridiculous.
just look at what Root does to you that morning, that first session.
Yeah, five for eight.
This
And then
rubbish.
look at what Aksar does. Aksar gets Zach Crawley first ball. He gets Johnny Bairstow second ball. It's a procession. My
There's just
goodness.
no. I was watching this test and I was just feeling like there's just no faith the batsman can have on the pitch, and with
None.
it the ball.
Yeah.
Okay, because the pink ball had even a shinier lacquer on
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah.
painted side, right? It would really skid along. Very difficult with the kind of spinners we had. Very very difficult. Anyway, this was the series, and the fourth test is even worse.
No, it's as bad as this, but at least they got 200 in the first innings. Pant saved us. Pant and Washi, as usual. The familiar chaps are back. And here itself, you can see Virat is going. Virat never recovered, and Pant and Washi saved us. And you have this familiar story.
Just not in the game, right? And
Yeah,
this series, I'm still telling you, I used to look at these pitches, except Ahmedabad, particularly with the pink ball, and think, okay, here you can still play some cricket, but this bias towards us, which is fine. I can live with that. I can live with that. But I was
But it was
starting to
bad.
call out already that we don't need these pitches. I don't know why we're making this shit. Because we've
Yeah,
had a few of them in the preceding decade on the odd occasion in a test match, right? Nagpur
yeah.
was one of those where we got done by the Aussies. Then there
Not
were
Nagpur, Pune, Pune in
Pune, sorry,
2017.
yeah, Pune, where he got done by the oil. But Pune again, level of turn perhaps was very consistent turn. It was quick turn. That's what really got us. It's all right. I mean, one test match in a series, you get that, and then there's enough batsmen in your team that can adapt to it and deal with it and get you just enough scores. You'll live with that. You're not going to cry about it. And if the opponent does better, that's fine. And you look at this series and it looks all right, might be workable. After this is just pure disaster task because this is the only kind of pitch we create after that.
Yeah.
The only
I'll
kind of
show
pitch.
you the worst example of this. The 2023 BGT. I just
Oh
wanted to
my
kill
god,
all
that
the.
Indore Test pitch on which we lost.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a
yeah.
joke.
No, no, let's go chronologically. This is the first one, by the way. The Nagpur test was the first one, and there itself I started seeing the warning signs. Oh my god. Look, we made 400. Don't ask how. Don't ask why. Australia were all out for 177 on the first day morning. Jaddu was extracting square turn on this pitch on day one.
Yeah.
Labuschagne was beaten by a ball that landed on middle stump and spun out to fifth stump. That's
Yeah.
how much it was spinning. All right. And then Rohit Sharma. This is his greatest innings.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
this is his greatest innings.
Yeah.
How he managed this, no one will ever find out. Also, Jaddu. Somehow he managed 70 on this. And Aksar. Aksar was the match winner in that series. 84. Coming in at number 9. Yeoman's work.
Yeah.
Yeoman's work, I tell you.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, this innings is equal to any of the greatest test innings you'll ever see because it was played on a rubbish deck.
Absolutely rubbish.
Like, you will not think
Absolutely
it's
rubbish.
rubbish because we got 400, but
No, 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 no.
trust me, it was bad.
This is the era in which he made up his test career.
Yeah. And in many ways, we
Right?
have
As
to
others
stop
were collapsing,
underrating
he
him.
was the one surging ahead. I mean, look, let's be clear. Sharma has been dropped and retired after having maybe two bad tours,
Yeah. Yeah.
whereas others have had years of bad tours.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's never forget, this man was one of the greats at tackling the spinning ball on really bad decks.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Please go watch
Absolutely.
the 161 and
That's
120.
that's
They're
a part of
available on
that is
YouTube.
he was raised in Ranji in the 2000s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, Australia have
And
no chance on this kind of deck
then we get the
after that
second
total.
test. Second test, we get this rubbish at Delhi. This was another terrible pitch. Don't let 263 fool you. Khawaja played a gem, as did Hanscom. And then we somehow made 262 because Aksar Patel played another blinder. Let's be very clear. And then they went out. And then one of the few times where the Aussies lost their heads and everyone
Yeah,
swept and were bowled. Everyone.
yeah, yeah. The great sweeping morning. And if they don't do that morning, you never know.
I have a feeling they would have won even with 200 on the board. Believe me.
200 is way too much, brother. I think even lesser than that they would have won because the run pressure at that time with the way the pitch was starting to turn and stay low. This is Delhi; it stays really low. This
Yeah.
would have been the BGT lost, man, right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if this wasn't bad enough already in the lead up, now we come to the creme de la creme of all the shit pitches that I've seen. Indore
I
is
would
just extraordinary.
I think this pitch and the Kolkata pitch are equal to each other in how
No,
rubbish
I,
they are.
I I think this is worse because this had everything. This had shit bounce, breaking apart, turn, everything. It had every single machination you can think. There are at least 8, 9 occasions when I remember when Khwaja was batting. Right, he
Yeah.
just got his bat down on time. Just got it down on time. Otherwise, he was bowled or LBW, and he just looked up and smiled, going like, what the fuck am I going to do about this? What else can I do about this?
I'm telling you, Kawaja's 60 is worth 200 on this pitch. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
kidding.
it's a match winner. Yeah, it's an immediate match winner. That lead on this pitch, my God.
Also, Pujara played one of his last great innings here. Feast your eyes on this innings. 59. One of
Yeah,
the last great.
played all the balls that he could. Yeah. Tried to have the innings construct around him.
More than the balls, he survived 227 minutes on this pitch. That should
So
tell you
well,
everything.
that's the number of. So it's like that. Shreyas Iyer is not an ordinary player of spin. He's a very good player of spin. But I
Yeah.
promise you, his whole innings would have felt like I can't handle this. I cannot handle it.
No, he got out to pace first time up, and in the first innings, no, he was bowled. There was no chance.
Right. So what I'm talking about is you can't keep doing this to batsmen, and you can't keep producing these shit tips where okay, if you're a little bit stodgy, you get through it.
Yeah.
There is perhaps a little bit of a reduction in the quality of our batsmanship as well into the Calcutta series, right? I think the
No,
English
and
really made a big mistake.
congratulations to the Indians. Nathan Lyon had never taken 8 wickets anywhere out. Has never taken 8 wickets anywhere outside of India. We gave it to him twice. This is the second instance. The first is the Bangalore pitch, which was also a very interesting pitch back in 2017. That was another crazy deck.
Yeah, but
So
there,
we
Ashwin again that pitch is another one that explains why this strategy worked for a while and then didn't. You had Ashwin
exactly.
bowling like a demon. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
Ashwin, you had that extra weapon in your armory. You don't have it today.
yeah. I'll just show you the match which I'm referring to because many have forgotten this one also. This is a classic, by the way. This is an utter classic of a match, a ridiculously brilliant match. But my God, Rahul's 90 is worth 200 on this pitch. Make
Yeah,
no mistake.
no, but
The,
also only an opener could get it because at least you
yes,
get the new ball first up to get moving. Yeah,
yeah, and Lion 8 again. This was the first of the two eights. The other one is the Indore 8. So the two 8 wicket hauls of his career are against India on Indian pitches. One should be ashamed of ourselves. Another good example of how look Aussies played 122 overs for 276. Like they couldn't go anywhere. And
but that's
then
still a well constructed Test match innings. Yeah, you
yeah.
fought.
And then you have one of the great, most underrated Pujaras of all time. This 92 is beautiful. You just go
I
back
think
and watch
every
this.
Pujara innings gets underrated. Pujara is just too underrated. Pujara is central to everything good that you were doing for his throughout his career.
Also, Rahane's 52. Watch this. Go back and watch this.
Yeah,
He was just
yeah.
unbelievable on that deck.
Also because he's smoother than anyone else. He's such a
Yeah.
smooth batsman. Rahane was.
Don't forget, Rahul actually made 250s on this deck. 250s. A
Yeah, and
90,
yeah, but
51.
but at least the good thing with this deck is it gets progressively worse, and in the fourth innings, yes, it's genuinely difficult. It's genuinely difficult. You should have made more than your 276 first up. Should have bowled better in the third innings, and then Ashwin just kills you.
Ashwin was unplayable. I was looking at his deliveries in
Yeah,
that.
it wasn't just being unplayable. He was tactically unreal in this Test match, man.
Yeah.
Unreal. It was a stressful Test match for a bit, man. I mean, we weren't that many ahead. We needed wickets. We needed wickets in this Test. And the
Yeah.
match was stuck for a while with that middle partnership, that
Yeah.
third wicket partnership or fourth wicket partnership. It was really stuck for a while, and he produced the goods. Like this is one of those spells I know Ashwin himself rates very very high.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, he himself rated it among his top three spells ever after he retired.
Our standards have become so low. I look at a 270 and I think, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. And at least in this case, the response to this test and the Indore test was identical. We laid out an absolute flatty in the next round. Actually, this was a watchable test. I could actually watch this test and come out thinking, okay, this was fine at least. And
Yeah,
again,
this is the Pujara beginnings. Yeah,
this is the Pujara masterpiece. Yeah, this is
yeah,
his magnum opus.
yeah.
It's a
And Saha cementing that Saha 100 was a very important 100. Otherwise, this
yeah,
match was going to be in the balance.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, another example of Smith doing yeoman's work in this series. Smith was unbelievable in this series. Go back and watch his technique
Yeah,
here.
yeah. While Kohli was having his first, probably his only disaster home series.
Yeah, only disastrous series in 2015 to 2019 period. Period. He didn't even have another bad series besides this.
I think his
Every other
aggregate was
series
less
he had.
than like 20-25 in this whole series.
That's insane. And yeah, Pujara produced this 200 and you drew this. And then the fourth test was a genuinely good deck. This was fine. This was a good deck. Dharamshala.
No,
This was fine.
Dharamshala is what Dharamshala is. You have to accept that that's a pitch that will get turned. It's also high in the mountain. The seamers will get more pace because of the thinner air. That's fine. You have to have some difficult tracks. Yeah, look, the problem is in this. The problem is, look, it's very easy to judge uh, Calcutta. So we're at this stage, right? This is what we're looking at in 17. We saw 21. We saw it's getting worse with the odd test match against Australia. And with New Zealand, that third test was a disaster. Like that Wankhede's pitch is a disastrous pitch. And then the next meaningful test match you play, you produce an absolute rubbish pitch. This is as bad as it gets. There's not a
Yeah.
minute in this entire innings, right? Four
Yeah.
innings. They had ample batsmen who got a start. But a
Yeah.
start means nothing. It doesn't mean
Yeah.
what it traditionally means. Because you can never trust the pitch at all. That's not how batting should be. That's not how pitches should be. And if you do it that way, then be
Yeah.
prepared for the lottery. Right? And so
Yeah.
after the Indore lottery, we went nuts. We gave the flattest wicket that God could find
Which
in
I just
BGT.
displayed. Which I just
Yeah,
displayed.
yeah.
Yes.
In the BGT.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at that and you think, oh my God, had they not gone mad in the morning in Delhi, and
Yeah.
had we been 2-1 down, what's your solution from there? Then you would have
Yeah.
lost two lottery pitches,
Yeah.
two test matches on lottery pitches, right? And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's very easy to, I don't like to go into ifs and buts, but that Delhi test, absolutely any coverage you look back to at that time will tell you they lost their heads, otherwise they were ahead in the game.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Right? So
And
that
another
that
example.
should have been a warning. You can't continue with this.
Yeah.
And I thought, and we all thought the lesson's been learned.
Yeah. And there's this other problem, this obsession over results. Everyone thinks 100% of tests have to end in a win or loss.
It's
That's
madness.
not the way test matches are supposed to be. If 20 to 25% end in a draw, so be it.
No, you have
Also,
to
you have,
earn your win. You have to earn your win. It can't be a lottery where you just, Hammer gets a couple of them with short pitch long hops, and he
but they
gets a couple
stop in the
of
pitch. They stop
they
in the
stop in
pitch
the
where,
pitch. Batsman can't you can't blame the batsman for playing the shot
yeah, because they have to have a release shot somewhere.
somewhere or the other, right? And yet you could turn around and be harsh on the batsman and say, "Oh, but you knew how the pitch is. You shouldn't have taken a swing." Then what's he supposed to do? When is he
Exactly.
supposed to take a like? What is to be done here? Okay,
There are
so the
no
answer
runs
is
to be had.
Bavuma. I get it. You could play a Bavuma kind of innings, and Bavuma, my God, that's a phenomenal innings,
Yeah, that's
right?
100.
It's very old traditional batting. I'll tell you one thing about it. Keep noticing how many times he gets beaten outside his outside edge by
Yeah,
the left armer.
yeah,
Okay, bat position never changes. He follows the straight,
yeah,
he covers the straight,
yeah,
and he gives away the outside half. And he's like, "Fuck it. If this goes, this goes." Depending on the length. If the length is shorter, he just because it's a short backlift, he just taps and he takes a single. He barely had any boundaries, made 55 runs.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Okay, you can call this great test match batting. I get it because it's grit, it's determination, but it's been compared by a pitch that didn't suddenly become this. It was throughout this.
Yeah, throughout this.
Rubbish. It's absolute rubbish. You cannot defend the pitch.
And
And
look at Gambhir,
right? So Gambhir comes out and says this is what he wanted.
which is truly something. It's such brainless, stupid kind of talk that it's look. And I
No, the
still
whole
believe in.
purpose of this historical record that we were saying is it is visible that you are diminishing your advantages. It's
Yes,
visible you're diminishing your advantages.
this is exactly the pitch we were looking for. Man has gone crazy if he thinks this is actually the pitch. Oh my God.
Look,
It's
I
insane.
don't believe that is even true. That's just him doubling down. Okay. Because this is not a pitch which I think, look at and think square turner, right? This pitch,
But
the
the
problem
bounce
with it
is
is
deadly. But the bounce was deadly.
completely unpredictable bounce and completely unpredictable pace.
I'll give you the best example of the. I started noticing
I
stupidity
I
on this pitch.
I want to come back to that. Say the second Chennai Test against England, that pitch,
Yeah, yeah,
major turner. You are better players of spin. Use that. That's fine,
yeah,
right? Or the '93 England series
yeah.
against England, where they cried and cried and cried. Turners, where we will bat better, always get ahead in the game. You can't handle it. But even then, it gives you a chance. And even in that series, Chris Lewis had a major 100. Graham Hick made a fair number of runs. A couple of others got in from time to time. Okay. It's just that they would lose wickets in clumps because about 4 or 5 of them never came to terms with it. That's fine.
Yes.
You're not going to be able to play spin because you don't play spin enough. But those pitches still, if you have a technique, they'll give you a chance. I don't care what technique you have here. You need a ton of luck to succeed. A ton of luck to succeed. And
Bavuma
this is
was
not
so
going to happen
lucky
on
with a
three
number of arm balls.
sorry.
Bavuma was so lucky with a number of arm balls. He just managed an inside edge on them.
Sort of,
Just about.
well, being that short also helps,
So, yeah, yeah.
right? There is one LBW in the second innings,
Bavuma.
left-handed batsman playing. Might have been, I forget who it was. Rickleton. I think it was Rickleton.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
he,
Straight.
he survives an LBW from Bumrah by
Yeah,
getting the underside of under edge of the bat
yeah,
on
yeah,
a vertical bat.
yeah, yeah,
Day two,
yeah,
absurd, right? And yet, one or two are going to jump up to you here.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll give you the best example. Vian Mulder was out caught behind in the second innings. All right. Full ball. Full ball. He's coming forward and it hits his glove here. What?
That's not even turn. That's not even a question of turn. That's just the unpredictable bounce. The
Like
the
he's going
prop
forward. He's
There
supposed to be
used to
forward
be
to
an
that.
Indian art of creating hissing turners, what we used to call rippers. Wankhede
Yeah.
used to do it regularly. Uh, Chennai used to do it regularly. Kanpur could do it. I'm not kidding with you. There used to be hissing, spinning, but they wouldn't have this up and down bounce all the time. Or if the up and down bounce started, it would start around day 4,
Yeah.
right? But if you could handle the zip in the turn, you could score runs on those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
This you
I've
can't.
seen enough English, I've seen enough foreign batsmen come to our shows, and I used to have this one theory. In the first test, the foreign batsman who gets in and takes time, may not score
Yeah.
a lot, but takes time, is going to score big against you at some point because they've
Yeah.
got it. Their hands are going, their eyes and feet are going in the correct direction. And there's a body alignment to playing spin, which is different from playing pace. There's a way your feet rotate. I have to open up sometimes, close sometimes your body in playing spin. That's how you do it. And every tour used to get them all the time.
I once again
Now,
would like.
God help you. Who can play? We can't play it, so I don't know what they're going to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, all of these matches are toss dependent, as you have seen. Pakistan are doing the same type of rubbish with their pitches, and they are also losing regularly on them now. We are also losing regularly. So I don't even understand what's the point of doing these pitches. And if Gambhir thinks this is the pitch that is good for
There's a
us in the
difference in the
Guwahati,
percentages.
God help us.
Pakistan will at least turn around and say we're winning the odd one, which we weren't earlier, right? With us, it's now become a case of your home advantage is nullified.
One more thing, I genuinely believe that if India needs to rediscover some batting form, make baseball style pitches. I don't care. I actually enjoyed watching that series. Nobody in their right mind enjoyed watching the Eden Gardens test match. It was unwatchable at times.
It was
You couldn't buy
unwatchable.
a run.
It was unwatchable. It was unwatchable. It was day 3 morning. I was just admiring the grit and some of our tactical ineptness,
Yeah.
right? To the extent to which that morning there were a few. I was tweeting with someone I tweet with a lot, who's from Australia. He's an Indian from Australia. Pitch looks better. Even he was asking what roller did they use. It looked better because you bowled worse, right? You just
Yeah.
had all it needed was a 45 run partnership
Yeah.
That morning between Bosch and Bavuma,
But the thing
so
is, the
tilt the
morning
game on its
session
head.
played good on all 3 days. The morning session
Sorry?
was the best session to bat. Morning session was the best session to bat on all 3 days.
But the
Middle
first
session
day,
was bad.
morning session was
Final
also
session
very,
was
very
way
tough.
worse.
Even on the first, what all day, the theme to din hai. First session, morning session, first day, I don't think it was that easy. I think it was already doing all kinds of weirdness with the bounce. Right. And perhaps it looks better because in the morning session, I think there was far too much pace bowled. Different matter that Bumrah bowled beautifully,
Yeah.
right? But over time, we got our tactics wrong on the third morning. That's all it is what it is. But what tactics? Like in the end, okay, you didn't bowl Bumrah in the morning, but you bowled two bowlers that you thought with the way this pitch is behaving, why not? I mean,
And
just look
here
at what
again,
Marco Janssen was reduced to. Marco Janssen is a very competent batsman,
yeah,
right? On that second evening, he comes out and he took the right ploy. He's just like, I just got to tonk it.
there's no point. If he gets out, he gets out. There's nothing else
Yeah,
to do.
yeah. So all that this pitch took was bad bowling, bad captaincy, perhaps, for about an hour, hour and a half in the third morning.
Yeah,
And look at the swing. The swing from the first innings to the second is 60 runs because you were 30 ahead and you lost by 30.
yeah, yeah,
So 60-run swing, this is all it took.
yeah. One more thing, I'm telling you guys, please return to the England series style of pitches at either one. Either make the England style of pitches that we did at home, or
In
make the England
24,
style,
yeah.
yeah, or make baseball pitches. I actually loved watching baseball pitches because there were some runs being made. Yes, they
Sima,
were excessive.
you will you were whinging and complaining your head off, all right, during the
I
baseball
agree,
series.
but after this brought back really bad memories, believe
Yeah,
me.
yeah, yeah. Listen, even those pitches were fine. They were not great. They were fine, but they're also a function of what the climatic conditions in England were during that time. I
Yeah,
mean, it was a very, very hot summer with very little rain, very little moisture. When the moisture arrived in Lords, for example, or at the Oval, it got a little bit dicier, right? It got a little
yeah,
bit
I agree.
harder. But we deliberately keep doing. I think the point we're making is you do a bad toss call in Bangalore against New Zealand, right?
Yeah,
Then they beat you on what was a good track in Bangalore.
yeah.
Then they beat you on what was a slow track in Pune.
No, no, it was a rapid turner. It turned
Yeah, I
fast.
mean that's where you started with your desperation tactics, but I
Yeah.
don't think it was anywhere near as bad as one kid,
Wankede was on another level altogether.
right?
Yeah.
Because desperation there meant even more desperation here. That at least now, because now the series doesn't matter to you, right? This stupid format, you have to go get your one test win somehow or the other.
I firmly believe that instead of gambling on losses or wins all the time, Indian cricket genuinely thinks of getting some draws here and there.
No,
Look,
no, so
if there are,
I think there is some criticism to be had to the format as well. What is a 2-year format for determining a great test team? Yeah? Barely any matches happen. We are playing 18 test matches across 2 years, so 9 a year,
yeah,
right? Mostly force fitted with two World Cups in between. A
yes.
T20 World Cup and a ODI World Cup.
Don't forget the Champions Trophy also.
And a Champions Cup. This is becoming ridiculous. Test matches have to be given, then make a 3-year cycle or a 4-year cycle. You can
Yeah,
comfortably play, each team plays over a 4-year cycle,
except
sit.
Pakistan. Except
Yeah,
Pakistan,
except
of course. And
whatever. Over a 4-year cycle, comfortably plays around 30 test matches, 35, 40 test matches. Right?
yes,
On a 3-year cycle, play 40 test matches, 35 to 40 test matches. That's a good number of test matches, home, away, everything, to be able to, and have weightages to be able to
yeah,
determine who will go in and who will not. I mean, you can do this better than this system. Yeah. This is
yeah,
a rubbish system.
yeah.
I listen. We have been force fed this idea of test matches need context. Test matches need no context. I don't think about the WTC when I'm watching a test match. Let me be crystal clear about this. I think about the WTC only because I'm compelled to after a match or after a series. I don't look at the England series and think, oh shit, we lost two. So what happens to our WTC final chances? No, I don't care. I saw a great series, right?
But I think that, but while you and I might think this way, and you more so than me, Uh, and I will agree with you on this point. But I can see it with the younger generation. I often talk to my juniors in college, right? Hardly any of them watch Test cricket, or even when they watch, it's very rare. They don't bother too much with it. The WTC also was a source of interest to many of them. So
Yeah, but listen, this is a very fabricated kind of interest creation. It's very contrary to the nature of the sport, to the spirit of the sport. You figure out some other way to give the mace. Yeah, throughout Test history, you have not needed a Test mace. All right, you have not
yeah,
needed it. Everybody has known for patches of time who the best Test team is.
yes,
Everybody
yes,
has
yes,
known that. It's a concurrent. It's a thing you concur about, and eventually, as the cycle keeps developing, as it keeps going forward, you end up with a series somewhere, which is the marquee series, in which you know the top two teams are playing.
yes, yes.
Right? South Africa, Australia used to happen quite a lot in late 2000s. We knew for a while they were, but then it was us and Australia before that, us and Australia around 2010-11 as well, us and South Africa in 2010-11 top series.
Yes,
Everybody knew this is a big one. Like this is a really big,
yes,
two big teams playing each other, right? And Test cricket was in great health when we
yeah,
were going to England in 2011. Yes, it was an aging team, but we didn't expect what happened to us.
yeah.
Partly because Zahir was a huge part of that team, and we felt Zahir would bowl well, and we'll do reasonably against them, and we'll score
He
some runs.
got injured on the first morning, and that
First
was
morning, bro, done. Your series is done, gone. Right. So there are ways to contextualize Test cricket. If this is what your contextualization plan incentivizes this behavior, this is rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. About a year of Australia also producing shit tips, absolute rubbish shit tips
they
at
are going
times.
to go back to shit tips now for the Ashes.
Have
Don't
to,
worry about
have to. Why should their incentive change?
it.
You see, you can't think in cricketing terms anymore. You're thinking in tabulation terms. I don't like this. Test cricket used to be about relative strengths and weaknesses where you plan out a series. This is literally every match you have to go and bloody do the same thing, yeah.
I'm telling you, if they do this in Guwahati, I'm praying that India lose 2-0. I'm literally doing that. I've had enough of this
Yeah, yeah,
nonsense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You should get the harshest lessons for this. The harshest lessons. No saving you
Be-
in this.
Believe me, I don't like the nonsense. How on the earth can they justify this? Like, essentially, you'll say you win the toss, you win the match. My dear fellow, I don't think you're winning a toss or a match in this situation. Anyway, we can't win a toss to save our lives right now. We
Yeah.
have gone well beyond
Across
statistical
captains,
improbability.
across years, across all kinds of voodoo, man.
I
We
think in
can't
the
do it.
last 40 matches, we have won like 3 or 4 tosses. That's it.
We take the
That's
law
it.
of averages and smash the
We have
living.
Brad Maneskin losing tosses.
We have ironically smashed the law of averages of the law of averages to pieces.
Yeah. By the way,
Ridiculous. So
I,
so when
by
I
the way,
but
Shubman Gill,
my worry, Sema, is this trend right now is people are still equating this to pitches and say 21. This is worse. These pitches are
yeah,
worse now.
was, yeah,
It's
yeah,
getting worse.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I can
More
see
and
it.
more desperation.
Look,
And you cannot tell me by not watering for 4 days,
yeah,
the only consequence you assume the pitch will have is more turn. Of course, this is like the graph cover on that is like me trying to get like some kind of Wayne Rooney style hair implant. Yeah, like just patches like somewhere or the other. What the hell is this? It's ridiculous. So it'll hit that patch, it'll skid a little bit more. It won't
yeah,
hit
yeah,
that
yeah,
patch, it might suddenly break and jump at you a little more. What is this? It's
yeah,
rubbish.
yeah. I'm telling you, the thinking is so ass backwards right now. It's astonishing. Like we are making heroes of all kinds of spinners now. Like
You know,
before, it was Steve O'Keefe.
people will not know this because they wouldn't have watched this. But the famous when we failed to chase 120 odd in Barbados, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. 2002.
People
Yeah.
keep yeah, people keep no 97, 98,
97, 98. Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
People keep bitching about that like it was the rarest of events. Go through the 90s fourth innings chases in West Indies. Everybody has failed.
Yeah, yeah.
Those kind of totals, like everybody failed. Like there are
Everybody.
England went down below 50, I think 3 times or something.
Yeah,
South
yeah, yeah.
Africa failed after being 120 for 2, chasing 177. They were knocked over like a whirlwind the next morning. because the pitches used to do that in the late stages. But Caribbean pitches early in a test match, at least they would still have this problem. They would have an uneven bounce problem at times, but from a high bounce. So you're
Yeah.
not as worried about the stumps. The stumps
Yeah.
problem arises later in the test match.
Yeah.
So if you look at how that 120, 81 all out happened, just look at the ball Azharuddin gets, man. Just look at the ball some of the others get. Just zoots along. There's nothing you can do about it. Okay,
That's
Ganguly,
why
50
that's why
for a joke
Lara's
of a ball.
that's why Lara's two greatest innings in that year, 1999, are just
No,
otherworldly.
but those are not the same kinds of pitches. There were other pitches that are toward that pitch, those pitches, some craziness was happening, man. Even the ODI pitches. Take a look at a few of those ODI pitches. Your brains will be like, what the hell are these guys doing? But because they used to start with a higher bounce, score, you could still score because you can drop your wrist, you can get away from it, and you're not protecting your stumps all the time. And if you're expected to protect your stumps, then the length is coming up, and if the length is coming up, you can get forward and you can defend, and
Yeah.
or you can drive. So after a point, when you start seeing which patch is causing what bounce, you'll find Tendulkar playing and even Dravid at times playing back foot cover drives on the up, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they can trust elements of this. That's what good batsmanship is, right? This is from either the lowest possible bounce or the highest possible bounce from day one. This is a day 4 pitch on a
Yeah.
bad pitch on day 1. You cannot do this.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah.
you come to techniques. That patient technique that, hey, for example, we talked about Sharma's innings. Elements of patience, elements of footwork,
So
elements of knowing how to
yeah.
attack the ball, how to cover for the
Yes.
spin when you're coming down the track. How to down the track to forget about balls. None of them can come down the track. None of them can do it. Right?
One more thing. You cannot come
Bavuma,
down for another
what does
reason
Bavuma show to
because
you?
yeah. Well, no,
No,
no.
what does
Listen.
Bavuma show to you? You can stay in your crease, right?
Yeah.
Cover the straight, let the rest go.
Mhm. Yeah.
Not a
If it
great way to
edges, it
bat.
edges.
It's a super disciplined way to bat, and it takes a lot of luck in your stride. What else are you going to do? What else are you going to do?
Washi did that actually. Washi did
Yes,
that until
for
he
a
got
long
the
time, and
edge.
then his luck ran out.
What else can you do?
Yeah.
I'll give you another thing. Coming down to the pitch, right? I was looking at the average speeds of spinners back in the 90s, even early 2000s. Most of them bowled at 75 to 85. You could come down to them. Most of them.
I mean,
90% of them.
75 would be a little slow. Vaughan would cause that kind of, because Vaughan used to really flight it a lot. But Murli and all were not bowling 75s, bro.
80 to
83,
85 was their
84
speed.
was very typical, and 88, 89 he used to go up to, and then he had a quicker one, which was in the 90s.
Now look at
Now I
what
accepted
Harmer.
everybody that at late 80s, early 90s all the time.
Harmer
Kumble,
was bowling 95, 96 yesterday.
yeah, but
Also,
Kumble barely bowled below 100 ever in his career, yeah. As a
Kumble would have
counter,
had 1,000 wickets in this era. Believe me, Kumble would have had 1,000 wickets in this era.
Kumble was still, there were batsmen, foreign batsmen who knew how to use their feet from time to time to Kumble, even though he bowled with pace. Right? Even if he put it up a little bit, they knew how to get down to him, even at that pace. That art is gone, and I don't blame them. It's gone because the power in their bats and the swing is so great. They're hitting sixes from the crease, right? And they're
Yeah,
hitting
yeah,
sixes from the crease on the up. So
yeah,
the psychology of a batsman is completely changed. Look at that Kevin Peterson tweet. What does he say? He says these guys are taught only to hit the ball. Peterson and Ashwin are insistent. Yes,
yeah,
the pitch has problems, but
yeah.
no, this is not how you bat on.
But consider that even Ashwin himself, used to lunge forward for everything and get edges and get out in slip. He used to do the same problem.
Yeah, yeah.
He used to have the same problem.
So I mean, looking at all of these issues, if you conjoin them together, right?
Yeah,
What do we get eventually as an outcome? And I think the outcome is fairly simple. This is not even making tactical sense anymore.
and yet Gambhir says this is exactly
That's
the
right.
kind of pitch that
That's that the problem with it is bad thinking. Forget about the larger health of Indian cricket. I think it's bad thinking qua the test match in particular, because
yes,
you are reducing the gap. Why does the gap between your bowlers reduce? It reduces because you don't have a magical guy like Ashwin. Ashwin would just change the pace of this lineup, right? Like he would change the
yes,
pace of how you can bowl.
yes,
So and how effective you can be as a lineup. Without and Ashwin, his downfall starts where New Zealand series. When you're not
That's it.
suddenly getting his
That's the
wickets,
only one. That's the only
right?
one.
Right? Suddenly not getting his wickets. Washi steps up, bowls well, but Washi suddenly not trusted to bowl on this track in the second innings at all, and you just
Yeah.
want to keep going with left armers. I mean, listen. These two are replicas of each other. Jadeja at a much higher level than Aksar,
Yeah.
but this is not my idea of a test match spinner. Jadeja could have always been a great test match spinner. Could have been a conventionally great left arm spinner, but he never
But
needed to
he has
do it
been
because he
forced
could
to
dart
limit
the ball.
himself.
Yeah,
He's
he
forced
could
to
dart
limit
the ball.
himself.
As a left
Yeah.
armer, he could dart the ball however he wanted throughout his career. We've
Yeah.
created these problems for ourselves, and it is coming home to roost in a big way now.
Yeah.
You don't have the batting lineup to play this.
Yeah.
You can't. What do you select three all rounders all the time.
Yeah.
One of your specialist batsmen gets whiplash, so now you don't have specialist batsman to cover it all,
Yeah.
right? None of these guys have played Ranji for a while, so they don't know how to actually play on any of these kinds of pitches.
No, they
Sarfraz
don't.
probably would have known how to play it better, but I can't even guarantee he would have done better. I don't think so. Anyway,
No.
Sarfraz seems like a closed chapter because for whatever reason, Gambhir just doesn't want him.
No, no. He leaked dressing room reports. He leaked the dressing
That's
room
that's
chat,
the
all that
theory.
nonsense.
That's the theory. I'm not contesting that, but that's it, right? So he's out the picture. That leaves what amongst the best spin playing batsmen that we know of. Shreyas is the only one left, but he had a major injury. He can't come in.
Yeah.
So what do you do in the next test instead of Shubman? It can't be Nitish Rana.
It should be Abhimanyu Ishwaran, actually.
Yeah, it should be, but that's a test debut. What are you trusting there?
It's just sad. And KP is really rich to talk about it, all of those. You were talking about the KP tweet. KP is one of the originators of power hitting at step hitting. And he is talking about this. Yeah, he had proper technique for his time, but still, it's a bit rich of him to say it.
No, no,
Because he
but
himself.
I have no problem. Look, I was telling you the other day, CK Naidu, 1926,
Yeah,
playing the touring Englishman at I think it was Brabham. Right, he
yeah,
makes 153 in 116 minutes with 11 sixes. There have always been attacking batsmen. Right, so while KP was doing that, you had either Strauss or Cook doing the opposite.
yeah, yeah.
That's always the mix of a test match lineup. No problem. There are very few batsmen who do all kinds of gear shifts. Only the genuine greats are able to do all kinds of gear shifts in all kinds of conditions. Right?
Fair
So
enough.
it's
Fair
fine. I
enough.
mean, KP, I don't think that criticism of KP is fair, but I do think he is underestimating the bounce problem on this pitch.
Yes, 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 yes. Because even the 186 he played at Mumbai had consistent turn and bounce. That's the
Oh no,
reason
no.
why he was able to
See,
play.
he played spin well that day, and believe me, that is the test series and the test match in which I think Ashwin learned that he needs to. Ashwin had started to bowl like a T20 bowler in test matches. He was bowling all his what do you call all his variations all the time, and he'd
Yeah,
forgotten that he was an off spinner first.
yeah.
Use the off spinner to create the behavior pattern in the batsman's batting, and then use your other deliveries.
Yes,
And after that series, started to do that very
yes.
well. It was a good lesson. Jaddu looked anodyne in that series, bro. Anodyne.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Anyway, I don't know how much I can rave and rant. I mean, I can rave and rant limitlessly about this because I have been very consistent fighting this on Twitter all the time from the day I first saw it, saying this shit is bad. And no, this counter argument that idiots come up with saying, oh, it's like a green top. No, it's not like a green top. You will survive green tops, and green tops become excellent batting pitches over time in a test match.
Most
Right?
of the time,
And the
not all the time.
biggest
Not
culprit,
all the time.
yeah, most of them, yeah, none of these will ever be good batting pitches. Let's be clear about that. None of them
That's
are ever
true.
going to become good.
No,
The
no, but there are recent
the
Australian
biggest
examples.
culprit with his whole, and I love him because of his attitude. He's my favorite cricketer from that generation. But the biggest culprit with bad ideas on these pitches was Ravichandran Ashwin, who would be like,
Yes.
"What's the problem? Why can't bowlers get
Yeah.
pitches? These are not bowler
Yeah.
pitches, man. These are
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
cricket pitches. We are
Also,
we are scathingly critical of that fourth Test Australia pitch, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Barely
yeah,
got one innings through in 5 days.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's a similar one we made 2005. or 2006 when South Africa had come to India.
Yeah, yeah,
Two test
yeah.
match series. First test, Snoozefests of the highest order.
Let me
Okay.
just search that.
Oh, I'll tell you about it. If you don't know this, there's a great story around this. There's a pillow story around this. So it was Snoozefest of the highest order, and Jennings was their coach, and he said, it's like the Indian team had come with pillows, right? Ready to sleep. We beat them in the second test. Good pitch, good cricket. Beat them in the second test. Bhaji bowled beautifully.
Yeah,
And then we sent Jennings a pillow signed by the whole team.
brilliant, 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 absolutely brilliant. I love that. Oh my God. No, no, actually in 2005, 2006, it was only one day. Let's see. No,
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 it
is it
was
2005 or 2006? There is a series with South Africa in that year.
no, no, 2007, 8. It was a drawn series. Yeah, the Snooze Fest was in Chennai. They made 540, we made 627. The Virender Sehwag triple century game. Yeah, this is the one. Chennai, by the way, same Chennai pitch. This was a Chennai pitch that
No,
did
there's a,
nothing.
there's a, there's a, there's another series I'm thinking about. There's another series I'm thinking about.
It's not in
It's
India.
before this
That
one.
much I'll tell you. It's not in
No,
India.
no, it had to be. Yeah. Had to be. I remember this.
This is the one you're thinking about, and yes, this was a snooze fest by classical definitions. You get 540, 627, and then you get 331 for 5.
Yeah, I mean, just
Excellent.
pitches on which you can't do anything.
Yeah, and at
So yeah, I
Chennai, by
mean,
the way.
these wickets definitely needed correction, man. Nobody is disputing that. They needed correcting, no doubt about it that they needed correcting. But what we're
And then
doing
you
right
get,
now,
and then they were reminiscing about this. By the way, Dale Steyn is a great commentator. Just wanted to say it. He's a great commentator. Did you did you like what he said? He was pretty good. He was pretty good in the box.
throughout he doesn't get caught in the emotion of it. And thankfully, Ravi Shastri, by the way, this time on air, very early in the test match, started to criticize the pitch. I didn't
Ordinary
want that.
pitch. And I'll tell you, I was about to beat him with a bat. You are responsible for the nonsense that we got, and
Yeah,
then you turn around and say this. You are the guy who presided over most
yeah,
of
yeah,
these
yeah,
rubbish
yeah, yeah.
games. 2020 to 2023 is completely forgotten by most people, apparently. What? He just makes these random statements. One more thing, they actually showed the footage of this innings. Steyn was a god on this pitch. First day, morning,
Dude, he
5
was
for 23.
unplayable. He was unplayable, man.
And then on the same pitch, you get a double by AB and a 132 by Jack. And
This
that's
test match series may be just after the BGT in 2004, the one I'm talking about. India, South Africa. It's not this three match series. There's a two-match series somewhere.
no, they came in 2004 to 2004, 2005. Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah,
This
yeah,
one.
yeah. This one.
Oh yeah, this is a snooze fest, but Chennai actually was a bigger snooze fest than
No, no,
this.
no, no, no. But I'm giving you the context of the series, right? So then, second test was a beauty.
Yeah, 163 by Andrew Hall somehow, and then you get a 164 by Sehwag, and yeah, complete snooze fest here. And then of course you get the second test, 305, Jack Callis 100. Jack Callis is seriously underrated for how many Indian centuries he has.
Oh,
And then you get four, yeah.
he's not underrated at all. Callis has, if I'm not mistaken, Callis's average in India South Africa series is 57, 58, something like that. He was the polar opposite. He was the mainstay because Graham Smith used to be a walking wicket.
And he's the polar opposite of even let's say people like Ricky Ponting.
Ponting couldn't play in India. He still
See, in
has
India,
reasonable. He still had reasonable runs in South Africa. In Sri Lanka, he couldn't play in India.
58, he averaged 58. He was
Yeah,
Barrington in India.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But he got a lot of good flatties. He got a lot of good flatties in India.
Still very impressive when you consider that his
Yeah,
overall
yeah,
average against India is
yeah. And you're
69.
playing decent spinners. You're playing Kumble and Bhaji.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I look. I'm going to summarize this. Tactically, these pitches are actually not in our favor, and they
Yeah,
are as a fan, they are unwatchable cricket.
Yes.
Two, three, uh, batting, the way these kids are being raised, they can't do this. They can't bat on
No,
this.
nobody can. Nobody can.
Bavuma is an older batsman. He's an old school batsman. He can therefore he could even think of this. The likes of Tristan Stubbs, and if they brought in Devon Brevis, aren't going to think of this. Believe me, they're not going to think of this. Or
No,
batting like
even
that.
Stubbs tried. Stubbs was trying and he
No,
had
no,
no
but you
idea.
can see that is someone who is trying, for whom this is completely alien. For Bavuma, it was not
Yeah,
alien,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Then if the blame lies with the WTC cycle, there has to be better marketing of Test cricket because honestly, I don't know about the rest of you. I do not watch Test matches thinking of the cycle. I watch Test matches for the sake of themselves. They are stories unto themselves. Look at the amount of conversation any single Test match generates. Is there any ODI match other than a World Cup final? Is there any ODI match that create and T20 to forget about? Even World Cup finals and T20 you'll forget about after a little bit of time. But every single Test match by itself creates this much passion, right? Because they have their own context. So maybe this 2 year cycle is a devastatingly difficult cycle, and it's doing more harm to Test cricket than good, in my opinion. This has
Maybe.
to, this rubbish has to end. It can't just be. Let's understand the desperation of the management, right? You need these percentage points,
Yes.
so you make these pitches, but you only
But
need them because of
but
this
now
cycle.
you don't have a guarantee you're going to win on them either. Australia are coming for 5 tests. Please don't make these surfaces. They're going to whitewash you 5-0 at
Yeah,
this rate.
but what if your confidence is so fragile where you're thinking we don't know about our batting all over again? Right? If we make better pitches,
Your
those
batting
buggers
proved
might kill us.
itself in reasonable conditions. Your batting has proven itself in reasonable conditions. Come
So Brad
on.
Haddin had a great comment about this today. He said India don't win because of square turners; they win because of scoreboard pressure. People keep talking about the spinners getting the opposing batsman. It's not that; it's the volume and speed at which their batsmen score that kills you in a match. That's how we used
Exactly.
to win series and test matches. We've taken
Look,
that
I'm
element
telling
out of
you,
the game. That winning formula, one half of that formula, we've taken out of the game.
Gauhati, I want a pitch that stays true for at least 3.5 days. If it doesn't stay true for 3.5 days, please believe me, I'm going to get really angry at the management. And if they make the same nonsense they did at Calcutta, I think we have to stop watching Test cricket for a while just to show them
No,
where
you
it
not
hurts.
stop watching. I think we have to make a louder noise and a louder noise and a louder noise. Yeah, we have to make a noise about this. This shit can't
And
go
this
on.
is not a Gambhir problem. Dravid did the same thing. Shastri has done the same thing. It's a
No,
Shastri
so
problem that has
maybe
now come here.
WTC itself needs a review. Percentage point system needs a review. Jay Shah is our guy. He needs to look at all of this, and he's eminently sensible in the way he's handled many aspects of international cricket, particularly women's cricket. So you should listen to
Women's
this.
cricket.
This is rubbish. This is what is going on is absolute rubbish. England are enjoying their test cricket, playing their test cricket without a fig about the WTC cycle, without a fig about it. Okay.
Exactly.
They go about playing test cricket for the sake of test cricket and they don't care about that cycle. And if they don't make the final, they'll come and bitch about it, about the format a bit, going like, what the hell is this? Somebody's playing 9 tests,
But
somebody's playing 20
crowds are
tests.
actually coming to watch.
Yeah,
Crowds are
because
actually
they
coming.
care about test cricket first and all this bloody WTC cycle and this mace and that mace later. How can test matches, which are your pinnacle system, have a more frequent world championship than the shorter format of the ODI? Look, this is absurd. It's absurd. You don't get to be the best team in the world in 2 years, bro. Take it from me, you never have. Nobody's ever been acknowledged as the best team in the world over a 2 year period. It's a 4 to 5 to 6 year period. It's a captain's entire period on which you get to be called the best team in the world. And then the expectation is the next guy comes and takes you forward. This is how all these did it. Border got them to the cusp. Then Mark Taylor took them to the number one position. Steve Waugh solidified them as the absolute number ones, and Ponting carried that forward. Right? That's a legacy. That's when you know you have a world number one. During patches of that, early patches in particular, others may have been better. Others were
Yeah.
perhaps regarded as better.
Yeah.
Because when they're doing this in the late 80s and early 90s, the West
West
Indians
Indies.
are still up there, but they're coming down. And the Pakistanis have always had a better record against the West Indies than anybody else. So they're also up there, right?
Yeah.
So that's how it was regarded. To convert this into a 2 year cycle is obscenity. It's obscenity.
One more thing. See, another thing I want to mention this, and guys, if you are on Twitter, I am no longer on Twitter. It was for my mental health, and I've never felt better about it. I'm sorry, but I just don't want to be on Twitter anymore. It's a cesspool if you engage with it too frequently, and I was addicted to it. I had to have a clean break. But the point is, make a hashtag, say have a flat pitch for have a good pitch, but a good pitch in Indian eyes is a flat pitch these days. So have a flat pitch for the second test.
No, no,
Point
no.
is, we can
There is
beat.
there are a lot of variations from Calcutta and a flat pitch. There's a lot of gap, and we could be a lot of
I don't think we
characters
know
of
how to
pitch
make
before
any
that.
of those variations anymore. I don't think any of the curators have any idea how to make those lovely variations anymore. They just
No, but
don't.
we can't blame both. I mean, curators probably do know how to make pitches, but like we said, it's us, our instructions from our management that have done this damage.
Look, Gambhir, I admire him as a white ball coach. As a white ball coach, he has the right ideas. Believe me, he has done some inventive stuff. But as a red ball coach, I'm seriously beginning to doubt: is this the
Okay,
right
you
way
may,
forward?
just extrapolate with me on this.
Yeah,
Flatter pitch, I think your spinners are very ordinary. I've always been of the view Jadeja. Statistically, I get how great people think he is. They think he's the greatest cricketer overall. Statistically, good for
no, no,
you.
no.
I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
at all. For me, he's a bowler of his conditions, and outside of his own conditions, he's quite ordinary as a bowler.
I
So
agree.
not him, not Aksar, right? Nobody's
Kuldeep,
pretending.
Kuldeep,
Huh?
Kuldeep.
Kuldeep's the only, but you can't keep playing force. What do you? How do you spread the overs with four spinners? Spinners need 8, 10, 12 over spells, man. You bowl 4 over spells with a guy, he doesn't pick you wickets. You're like, oh, he's failed already. Let me take. This is a mockery of the sport. This is not the sport.
Also, this is unfortunately a thing about diminishing attention spans as well. Like I was actually reviewing a few Barrington innings since we were having this discussion. This can become a short. So let's just talk about this since the main discussion is kind of there. Barrington, right? He has hundreds of 400 balls, 500 balls,
Yeah.
and those were considered boring 100, sure, but nobody said this was bad as 100. Nobody. Like they respected his ability to stay at the crease. And for those people who don't know who KF Barrington is, please look him up. He is one of the very few to average more than 58. 58. That's why recently, Nikhil and I were actually debating a point: all-time England 11 versus all-time Australian 11, because Ash
Actually,
is
no, we were
going on.
debating the opener, the English opener.
Look, Barrington is not an opener, so let's be very
No,
clear
no,
about
we
that.
only came to Barrington because I in the opener I wanted Hutton, but there were two other openers, Hammond and Sutcliffe, who had
Yeah,
higher averages over a lot of test matches, right?
yeah.
But I think the reason why everybody
Hammond is
puts
not an
Hutton,
opener. Hammond was not an opener.
he's
Hammond was
played,
a
he's
number
opened as
four.
well. One of the reasons why why Hutton is always put there is he lost 5 years of his peak to World War II, 5 6 years of
Yeah,
his peak to World War II,
and yet
right?
was
So
so good.
yeah, so plus made the 364,
Yeah.
which Bradman later broke. Not
No, no,
Bradman.
he broke Bradman. He
He
broke
broke
Bradman.
Bradman. Exactly, he broke Bradman. So Sobers broke that. Sorry, Sobers got a
Yeah,
365.
Sobers broke that. Yes.
Yeah, but Hutton was always regarded as, but his average was slightly lower than these other three players that we're talking about.
I mean, I actually have that WhatsApp message where I just, yeah, brought it up. I'll just, show people that, just to give you an idea of what this average actually looked like. Just to get the people should know, because many people think, oh, you know what, Tendulkar's average is 54. It's very high. It absolutely is. Kohli's average
No,
is
I mean,
46. It's okay.
Tendulkar's greatness is 177 at 177 test matches,
Yeah,
293 innings or something. His
yeah,
average was 58, 57 point something.
57,
That's
and that
that's
itself is
absurd,
like,
right? That's that many test matches, that many innings. It's absurd.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I get why Tendulkar is done like that. But then now look at this. This is the reason why, most people don't understand why old grades are rated so high. Just look at these averages. Sutcliffe, 60.7.
Yeah,
60.7.
and by the way,
Barrington,
75, 80 test
58.7.
matches, huh? Not like there's no test matches there.
Yeah, yeah. Most of them are 60 to 80 test matches, as I told you. 60 to 80 test matches, all of them. So Hobbs 56.94, Hutton 56.67, Hammond 58.45. Point is, this is your all-time English top five is right here. Like, who is getting in from the modern era? You please tell me. Maybe Gooch, but even his average isn't great.
No,
Like,
not
it's
Gooch.
10 runs below this. It's 10 runs
Gooch,
below
no,
this.
but Gooch's entire career starts at the age of 36, man. Gooch made 20 centuries. 12 of those centuries come after the age of 36.
I'll just show you. I didn't add it to the stage. So Sutcliffe 60.7, Barrington 59 almost, Hammond is 58.5, Hobbs is 57, and
Yeah, but
Hutton is
there's a lot of other
56.7.
factors involved, man. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put a lot of these guys necessarily above Root. I would not necessarily put them above, even as an opener, maybe even above Alistair Cook. They didn't play as many different conditions, as many different bowlers. You know, anyway, it's all debatable. Uh, I genuinely question sometimes the quality of the bowling that they did face, and
Yeah.
how sustained it was. But yes, what they had for a lot of them for a long time was the pitches were very odd at times.
Yeah. And they had wet pitches also. Hammond was regarded as the greatest player on rubbish pitches. He actually could play brilliant innings on
Yeah,
rubbish
but
pitches.
also remember this: nobody was going to shoot them dead for a draw. Today, nowadays, people are just on your case. If you like, they could win a Test series 1-0 in peace, man.
Yeah.
Play attritional cricket. It's tough at times. Play it and win with a good draw. The last, I think, the first Ashes that England won in England for a long time may have been 2009, right? And in the first Test, they got a draw
2005,
with one.
2005, 2005.
Yeah, after five, they won in 2009. I think in nine when they got a draw first up with Collingwood and the number 11
Uh,
holding out with one
no,
wicket.
no. Number 10 and 11, Panesar and Anderson holding out.
Yeah, holding out, right? The draws are not necessarily the worst thing in the world. You have to
Yeah.
be able to accept but these outcomes are now becoming judged very poorly because of this cycle problem.
Yeah. But you know, we are discussing all of these old time averages, and you are saying you have to equate them to, you know, better averages, how to equate them of different eras. I get that, but certain times I look at the difference and say that difference also cannot be met. Like, for example, Cook averaged 45, 46 at the end of his career.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
steep
yeah,
drop from his 50 odd average. You
yeah.
cannot say Cook is an all-time England 11 player because you have 3 or 4 English openers who are far better than he is
Okay,
over an 80 test career.
but would they have sustained their averages scoring another 4.5 to 5,000 runs? That's what they need to get to Cook.
But 7,500 runs is what Hammond did. So that's a
Good.
very
He's
good amount.
5,000 runs short of Cook. Let's see if he sustains himself for another 5,000 runs. That's a lot of runs, bro. That's two-thirds of his career.
But he played nearly the same number of years as Cook. That's the difference. They
Maybe,
didn't have
and
that
also
many
maybe
opportunities.
perhaps that even makes Cook's achievement even better because that means you're getting more days off between tests, you're getting more practice games, you're getting all of that, right? None of that exists for Cook. So, you gotta look at it all in that light, in that kind of light. But yeah, I do accept this that anybody who's got an average of 60, 58, 57 and a half, 58 consistently for that period, you can't just wish them away. They're there. They are the pantheon of the genuine greats of the sport.
In fact, the most recent entry into the top 15 averages is with a substantial career, that is not
Hey, let
the
me make this
1,000 run,
recommendation, man.
2,000.
If people want to watch
Sangakkara.
something about the history of Indian cricket, there's a series I remember by Nasiruddin Shah called Mid-Wicket Tales. I don't know what platform you can find it on, but there's a series called Mid-Wicket Tales. You can take a look at this.
Mm-hmm. See, another thing which many people have failed to understand is the impact of the helmet. Like, genuinely go back and watch how the older players used to play the bouncer, and there was no bouncer limit, no protection for the batsman. Just look at how Hammond plays it, Hutton plays it. It's ridiculous. Or even, for that matter, how Barrington used to play it.
No,
Like, the
no,
ability of those
it's not
chaps
how
to
you play the bouncer, it's how you organize your whole technique. Your whole
yeah,
technique could not be a front press technique like everybody is nowadays.
yeah, yeah,
You know, the Kohli and Ponting front press that's so typically spoken about, you couldn't live with that. You couldn't live that. You couldn't have that. You'd be dead. You'd literally be
you'd be
dead if you
dead.
kept doing that.
Yeah, yeah.
So your entire technique would be reorganized and played differently.
I admire them so much for their bravery back in those days. Nobody died, which was a miracle. But imagine
It's
the
not.
number of balls.
It's actually if you're not willing to take if you're not if you don't have the pressure to hit the bounce of a six first over of the fucking match, you can handle bouncers because you can just let them go. Very often, just let them go, get out of the way, and just let them go, right? Or defend them. I've not seen this shot for so long, bro. This shot through the 90s used to be so common watching top level batsmen defending a bouncer here and dropping it to
Yeah,
your feet, right? With
feet. Yeah,
square leg, with short square leg and silly point right there, trying to snap
yeah,
something up. But
yeah,
it used to be so common a shot. You had to have this shot, the ability to drop the ball dead. Look at Dravid, for example. You'll see it innings after innings where he's taking balls which are, say, half his bicep high or around nipple high or whatever, and just killing the ball.
yeah,
And if
yeah,
it got higher than that, if it got higher than that and you're still defending like this, that means you misread the bounce.
yeah, yeah.
Then you're in trouble.
And these days, no, not many batsmen can even do that. They try to raise it and defend this high. It usually takes
Yeah,
one
yeah.
edge because they have not hit it and
Alternatively,
goes straight to short leg.
the variety of hook shots and pull shots they can hit today, others don't hit now. Others weren't
Yeah,
hitting earlier. Right? This switch pull, right? If you look
yeah,
at Sharma's pull, it's not actually this all the time through
yeah,
the ball.
yeah,
It's a turn of the wrist,
yeah, yeah,
guiding the ball through. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's
So
essentially what he does.
their incentives have been changed, and some of this incentivization stroke play, I have no problems. I mean, that's your prerogative as a generation that grows up. But this is a very bad change. 2 year cycle, percentage point system, destroying. This is not the way Test cricket should be.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. But they're not going to change it anytime soon because they've already finalized the venues for the next three WTC championships.
No, no. Why,
2029 cycle has been established.
venues you can finalize. Rules can change. All right, 2 year cycle won't change, but something else can change. At least this percentage point system should go away. But a two
Yeah,
year cycle is a bad cycle, in my opinion. And if you're not seeing this
yeah,
right now, they will see it over the next three cycles because what have we been through? We've been through a sustained era of shit tips in South Africa.
yeah,
That transferred to India.
yeah,
Then finally, Australia over the last year.
yeah.
Why should anybody not have shit tips?
Sri Lanka also in recent times.
Pakistan immediately cottoned on to it as well after having those graveyard pitches for a while. Realized, forget it. We can lose on a graveyard pitch, but we might as well go win something on these other pitches. Everybody will do it. Why won't they do it?
And Bangladesh has some of the greatest raging turners you'll ever see. Like it's
Yeah,
insane.
yeah, yeah.
And the pitch
The
is
reason why
blacker than my
England
hair.
don't do
The
it
pitch
is
is blacker than my hair.
the reason England don't do it is because England don't care about the WTC in the same way others do. They care about Test cricket per se. There's
For
a
once,
problem here,
actually, I'm
man, and
glad
it's
that
just
they don't
simple as
care
that.
because Test cricket in England is still so watchable because of it.
Yes, it's proper cricket.
Yeah. The Lord's Test was one of the finest tests I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, it was a superb Test match. We
Oval
lost by a
Test.
bit. We
Yeah,
lost
Oval Test also.
Oval and Lords both, man. Oval and Lords
Yeah,
both. Superb Test matches.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll
And see,
accept that. And let's be clear, neither of those teams felt like the pinnacle of the skill level that we've seen.
but
Okay,
that
neither of
doesn't
them felt.
matter.
Doesn't matter. But the competitive element, because the
Yeah.
conditions are good conditions, is so good.
Look, if you give a good Zimbabwe still produces good test pitches, by the way. So Zimbabwe versus Bangladesh on Zimbabwe pitches is still watchable because it's relative skill level. You can still watch those matches. It's not bad. Actually, Zimbabwe are a fun team to watch.
As
But
I,
that's the
Listen, you don't have Ashwin. This is a bad strategy. End this shit now. Make proper competitive cricket wickets. And if we lose a few series, then I will not care. But this lottery loss is just ridiculous.
also they didn't have Rabada. Next test they're going to have Rabada. And I
Bro,
know
I
Rabada
don't
is a
think you can win on
non-controversial.
these. I'm with you on this. I don't think you can win on these kinds of pitches. You don't have the spinners to actually win you matches on these pitches.
Exactly.
Without Ashwin, you
Exactly.
can't win on this.
And more I'm sympathizing with Bajji. Bajji was really hurt when some chaps were saying Ashwin is a better spinner than he was. Maybe he was, but a very slight in a very slight manner, because the more and more I'm looking at Ashwin's record and I'm examining it under a microscope, I'm realizing Bajji really did his work on balanced wickets or on even flat wickets.
You cannot
Ashwin got
compare Bhaji and Ashwin on flight. Bhaji is miles ahead on flight.
yeah,
Miles ahead. Bhaji is one of
yeah,
the genuine conjurers of flight.
yeah,
Okay? Ashwin is not.
yeah,
Ashwin is a Ashwin is like a wizard, right? Like different kinds of spins.
yeah,
I
yeah,
get, but he's never had to really play a lot with flight.
yeah,
Sustained
yeah,
playing with flight.
yeah, yeah,
Just
yeah,
look at some of the dismissals Bhaji got in 2001. So many guys come down the ground to defend him, down the pitch to defend him, and
definitely.
get beaten by the fall of the ball and get LBW
Yes, 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 yes,
or
yes. I've seen this.
caught in
Yeah,
close
yeah.
because they think
Gilly
they're getting to the
besides
pitch,
that
but they're not getting to
100.
the pitch.
Gilly besides that 100 was such a bunny in that series. I cannot forget the
Dude,
way his
Ponting,
face
man,
looked.
Ponting's eyes used to look like he's seeing a ghost every day of his life.
Ponting on Indian pitches anyway was a non-factor because of Bajji throughout his career.
And
I mean,
then and then Ishant late on Ishant Sharma with that in cutter and the straightener drove him nuts. Anyway, let's call it a day. I think we made all the points we had to make. I think the tone is befitting, it's exasperating. This WTC cycle is creating rubbish thinking in our cricket, in all cricket around the world, somehow in a lot of cricket around the world. This stuff needs to end. We need better thought processes behind how test cricket is to
yeah,
be played.
absolutely. And I wish to offer a clarification. The Indians were not being racist to Bavuma. They just said he's short. That is why they said go for the LBW
Yeah, but
review.
at the end now, our man Bumrah, were nice of him, but he felt it like he had to go and clarify to Bavuma. You could see he was doing that. And a sustained clarification. And Bavuma wasn't letting him off the hook immediately. He kept him on the hook for
Yeah.
a while, and Bumrah had to keep coming back and keep saying things to him. And that's when it sort of all normalized. And look, Bavuma is a genuine statesman. I don't even think he's a good captain. I think he's a genuinely wonderful human being and a proper statesman of the sport. And it'll all be
He's
good.
not even lost a test yet. He's not lost a test yet as captain.
Did he not play in the first test in Pakistan?
Uh, no, he didn't play in Pakistan at all. He would have
Ridiculous.
won that test match had he been there. Believe me, he would have won that first test also somehow.
Ridiculous. So he's 10 out of 11 with 10 wins and a draw. So
Yeah,
that you can't scoff at that. 11 is not a small number of test matches and across the world at that.
I used to think he was a bad batsman, and in his early era, he was pretty mediocre. He averaged like 30 in his first 30 tests,
Dude, he's
but now he's
33 before
averaging like
becoming captain. He's
60,
55 after becoming captain. Yeah.
60 or something.
56, whatever. Listen, if on the first morning in Guwahati they produce another Shiv Sena pitch, I am going to actively tweet in support of South Africa through that test match. The hell with everyone.
Yeah, Bavuma is a likable figure. I actually want to see
You
him
forget
do
about
well
likable figure. We are detestable figures in that moment to me. And
at this
in fact,
point.
cricketing culture is a detestable thing in that moment in time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, it's the first time where I'm seeing a foreign team and I'm thinking every single guy is so likable, and I just cannot hate this opposition team even if my life was dependent on it. Every single guy is so likable in that team. Our guys are behaving in such a crazy manner. Insane. I cannot believe this. But anyway, kudos to you, Bavuma. You stuck to your guns. You have done your job. Go ahead, and if they make the same sort of pitch, go and drub us 2-0. We deserve it. We deserve it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We fully deserve it. And believe me, your innings of 55, people might forget it in 10 years. We won't be forgetting it. It's
No,
equal
we
to
can't.
150
It's the
youngsters.
lightning rod by which we are hitting everybody in our cricket. It's the innings that has woken all of us up to say, what the hell?
Yeah,
Arey, yeah, 2004 Mumbai Test, shit tip again. Okay, but
yeah,
no one near as bad as this, by the way. No one near as bad as this. Perhaps
yeah,
batsmen had better techniques also for that, more patience and
yeah.
more technique at that time.
No DRS. No DRS also makes a difference.
Yeah,
No
makes
DRS
a
also.
difference. But Tendulkar and Lakshman make 50s. Tendulkar makes a very rapid 55. Lakshman makes a 69. Okay,
Yeah.
top innings on a really bad pitch where the dust was just flying up. because they could sort of, you look at those innings and say that's some batting. 7 fours, eight
Yeah.
fours, This 55 I will never forget because the man struggled for every single minute that he was out there.
Every ball felt like a lottery for him, and
Yeah,
he still
it
managed it.
just this it cannot be like this. And it's the innings that will be the quickening rod by which you lash the back of Indian cricket if it continues to do this.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And thank you so much, Bavuma, for playing that innings. It taught us a lesson, literally. It should anyway. If they don't learn a lesson, even with this, I don't know what to say because it's getting really bad and sad at the same time. So
Chalo,
thank you all our fans. If this is the kind of pitch that they make in the second test, support South Africa wholeheartedly. You are not anti-patriotic for this. Support South Africa. I'm telling you.
you're very
Let them play.
patriotic for this. There is no other way to bring a change in Indian cricket. The psychology of Indian
Yes.
cricket has to change.
Support South Africa. Let them have a good test match. Go ahead. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us again. We'll be back soon. We'll be probably doing a first Ashes test review after the test is done. We'll do one after the first test and maybe
Because
one
that will
after the
cover
second
both
test.
test
They're like
matches
week
then.
long
It'll
gaps.
cover South Africa as well. The second South Africa test as well.
Yeah. First test of the Ashes and first test of the South Africa, India, South Africa. Second
Second,
test of the
second
India,
test.
South Africa.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Around 27th or 28th November, we'll see you then. So that is exactly what is happening. Uh, thank you so much for watching all of this with us. Big shout out to our editor who's doing yeoman's work out there. He's doing a lot of great work. All of the graphics, scorecards, that's all due to him. Thank you so much to Harish as well for that. And we'll see you all on the next one.
Great. See you.